Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to another Mike Papa Milsurp ammo teardown. We have our calipers, we have our scale, and we have Tortorson Mark II, Tortorson Harder, and a plethora of military surplus ammo to take apart. So, let's see what's on the docket today, shall we? Well, it's been a while, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Mike Papa Milsurp channel. A lot has happened since our last video of 30.6 4 or 5 months ago. Check out the main channel if you guys want to know more about that. I'm not going to bore you with that. We're here for Milsurp stuff. This is some 7x57 Mauser that I bought probably 4 or 5 years ago. A whole lot of mixed head stamps. This was the most prevalent one that I pulled out of there here. We got R and 2 number designations, one being a 2 or a 7, or I imagine 1 through 12 for the months of the year. Then, of course, the 45, which would be for 1945. And lots of stars. I imagine this was Brazilian surplus, but I cannot find any reference to it online. So if you guys have any idea what this stuff is, let me know. Did quite a bit of research on this. There is quite a bit of good references that you guys will see in the description below. One of my favorite websites failed me that we've used previously. It's one of the cartridge websites. I'll put it in the video right now, but I went to Cartridge Collector, which is basically the only reference that I found that was of any use, and they have head stamps referenced by number and letter designations, and I scrolled all the way down to R, which is of course the head stamp of this stuff, which is quite aged. I bought this off Gunbroker as a lot for reloading. These are like 8 cents a piece. I bought like 1,400 of them at a time, just so I could have reloading components, which was before I realized there was a difference in the types of 7mm Mauser, which is something I might address later. So Cartridge Collectors has a reference to the letter R being the Dominion Cartridge Co. out of Quebec, which I doubt it's that. Fábrica de... what is that? Realengo in Rio de Janeiro, which is probably what this is, Brazilian 7x57, because they had the 1908 contract, I think, when the updated Mausers came out, which is what we almost know as the K98 1908 pattern, or the Robin Hood Armament Co. out of Vermont, which I doubt that is. So I'm guessing this is Brazilian surplus. Like I said, I couldn't find any picture references to these specific head stamps, but I'll grab a couple here before we tear it apart. Of course, this is one of my favorite military surplus calibers. It's not really heavy recoiling. I've always wanted a semi-auto 7mm of some sort. 8mm seems to be just a little bit too heavy hitting. It's like 30-06. It's not that good to put in a semi-auto system, although John C. Garand did a great job making the M1 Garand. It's a very soft shooting gun, but it's because of all the linkages and all the weight that's in it. It's a very stout gun. It's not as handy as I would like it to be. I'd like a gun that weighs maybe a pound less with that same recoil impulse, and I figured 7mm Mauser would be a good way to do that, but I don't have the resources or the people to invest in me to do that, even though I could probably make a pretty sweet gun. But I've always wanted a semi-auto 7mm. It's a really good ballistic coefficient, one of the best for precision long range. That's why a lot of the precision long range guns are 6.5 and 7mm, among other goofy calibers that most of us haven't even heard of. But there's a nice look at all the head stamps. We'll go ahead and break out Tortorson and get some of these torn apart. Eventually I'm going to tear apart all of these things, but I know how much you guys like watching me do this, so I'm going to do at least one for the camera. Now, hiya! Ah, first try. Neat. Before I tear this apart, I would have to venture to guess this is flake powder, but this was about the time that IMR 4350 came out, and 30-06 had a bunch of it, but... oh, well, maybe it is. A little bit of stick powder maybe in our future. Oh yeah, look at that. Gotten away from the stick powder, not like that Turkish garbage. Gross flake ammo. So it looks like we got probably 44 grains of IMR style powder. We lost a little bit there. But yeah, stick powder. Pretty neat. There's the projectile for you. Probably 140 grains, and just for reference, there's a 55 grain 223. dwarfed. Plenty of sealant on that guy. Got a really, really shallow cantilever, if it would focus, and an exposed base there at the end. So we'll get that powder out of there and we'll measure this guy for weight. Should probably get some measurements of this bullet too. Typically they're supposed to be 284 diameter. So we'll get it in millimeters, 35.5 overall length. Length to the center of the crimp groove, approximately 14.25. And then 7.3, 287.5. That's a little large. I do remember pulling bullets from a different 7mm cartridge and having them be oversized as well. 7.3 millimeters. It's pretty fat. Same thing. 287.5. I'm wondering if this is a... No, this is not anywhere close to being a round fraction either. Close to 1 3/8, but not quite. Yeah, it'd be 1 3/8. Interesting. Bullet diameter was typically 285. What did we say this one was? Yeah, 287.5. This one's 287. 2,000 oversized. Yeah, I remember I pulled apart some other 7mm. This one's 287, which it might be the grease on the outside making it a little bit fatter, but it's nowhere close to 285. I remember I bought one of those sizing dies that you use for lead to try and squeeze them down a little bit, which is not a great idea because these are swaged. So when you squeeze this outside, the lead might shoot out the back, but it never happened. And the reason I did that is because K-Bar got hit in his thumb on the main channel, and I pulled the bullets to see how hot they were. This was with a carbine even, but it ended up being that it was a striker issue. It was caked with cosmoline, and the spring held together and shot back instead of compressing. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, these are oversized, just like the other style that I tore down, which I don't remember what the other ones were. But 286.5, 287 diameter, a little bit thick. We got a heavy boy here, 162 grains. Usually they're 174 or 140, I thought, but scale is in fact zeroed out. 162 grains, 7mm. I'll pull 4 or 5 of these things and get an average of the bullets and the powder, and we'll be back. Alright, so there's the last grain weight there. I've got 162.2, that's our last one. 161.3, well, not great. 162.2, 161.5, 162.3. Which, keep in mind, this is military stuff. They really don't care about an awesome standard deviation. So you can see that some of the stuff someone tried to shoot at one time and didn't have a whole lot of luck. We'll go ahead and measure a couple of these for overall length. 77.53, which is pretty close to being dead nuts on, to 77.5. That's pretty good. This is our first try at a 7mm Mauser. Of course, I think the first 7mm Mauser contact was the 1893 Spanish Mauser, which I had at one time, but it was sporterized from the 1920s, had the bayonet lug cut off, so I'm trying to get rid of it currently. And that was chambered for the old style 7mm Mauser, that is the round nose bottle nose style cartridges that you should not put this stuff in because it was lower pressure, heavier grain weight, and actually different shoulder geometry. It had a different length of the shoulder, which was kind of interesting. Grab one of these cases here and just take a couple measurements here all the way at the bottom. And if you like inches, just convert it. Get the outside of the neck here. And then overall length, 56.3. 56.7. 56.7. So yeah, 56.3 was a little bit off. 56.5.5. About 56.6. Pretty close. What would be really swell is if this was boxer primed, so that I could take all these primers out and see if they would work with the old. Nope, it is Teardown primed. That is truly unfortunate. So I would like to try and shoot some of the stuff in the original configuration. See if we can get that to show up on camera. There you go. Teardown, the American, funny enough, and the Americans use boxer prime. Boxer being, I think it was a Brit, what the United States went with. And reloaders like that Brit, because we can just resize this brass and keep using it. So that kind of sucks. I might just reload one of these cases that looks kind of nice and see if it'll fire. Just size the case with my Lee dies. But yeah, 7mm, big fan of it. This is probably a 162 grain bullet going 2,300 feet per second out of a full-size Mauser, maybe even a carbine. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm going to try and recreate this round on the Mike Papa Kilo channel. We don't do any shooting here, trying to get this channel monetized, which I don't really have a hope in hell of that happening. But if you want to see me recreate this round and shoot it, we'll do it over the Mike Papa Kilo YouTube channel. Yeah, it's pretty rich history for the 7mm Mauser, starting in the early 1890s all the way through World War II, and pretty much stopped right there as all the countries became NATO countries and adopted some sort of 7.62 NATO variant. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this stuff. I wish I had more research to share with you guys. I've got some stuff in the description below, but it's kind of a mystery as to what this one is. Like I said, the only reference we have is from that cartridge collectors, with the R head stamp being from Brazil. I do have a Brazilian Mauser on the Mike Papa Kilo YouTube channel, but it's an Itaúba Arsenal remanufactured to 30-06. It is not in the original 7mm. So, still looking for one of those. Kind of hard to find. It's not exactly easy to find some of these milsurps anymore, even with all the time I spend looking at online auctions. The Venezuelan ones are quite expensive. So, best my guess is it is Brazilian made. So thanks for watching. Check out the main channel and all the sponsors over there. And if you guys have any suggestions or want to send me some ammo to tear down on camera, feel free to contact me. Thanks for watching, and hope you guys are enjoying the military surplus month on the Mike Papa Kilo channel. Bye.